Hello students, this is Shweta Roy. This video is for Chapter 2 Economics Part 1 People as Resource. In this video, we will discuss about the human resource, the importance of human resource. We will also discuss a story of two boys, Sakal and Vilas. So, here we have the chapter People as Resource. And in this chapter, we'll understand that population is actually an asset for the economy rather than a liability. Actually, this population becomes the human capital when there is investment made. So how investment will be made in the population? So it will be made in the form of education, training and medical care. By enhancing their skills, we can transform them into an asset. Actually, this human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge which is embodied in them. So, by enhancing their skills, they can be transformed into an asset. Actually, people as resource is referring to the working people, country's working people, because they have the productive skills and abilities. So because of this, if you see like this, that the population is actually able to contribute to the creation of gross national product. They have productive skills, they have productive skills and abilities, and because of that they can be very important in the creation of the gross national product. And like this, if you see in this way, if you see the population, you will find that population is also a resource. It is actually a human resource. And we only see the negative side of the large population, but this is the positive side of the population that is actually overlooked with the negative sides. Yes, there are problems providing food. If you have huge population, providing food, uh, education and access to health facilities, and with this problem we forget, or it is their positive side is actually overlooked. Whatever human resource we have, if they are developed by becoming more educated and healthy, It is called human capital formation. And this human capital formation adds to the productive power of the country. Like physical capital formation, we have human capital formation. And what does it mean, human capital formation? It means whatever human resources we have, we can further develop it by educating them or making them healthier. So, like we invest in the physical capital, the same way if we invest in the human capital through this education, training, medical care, they can yield a return. And that can be seen directly in the form of higher incomes earned because of higher productivity of the more educated or the better trained persons. Also, higher productivity of healthier people. So, healthier people, more educated people, trained people, they can increase the productivity. And like this, you can see the result of the human capital formation. Here we have an extract from the Planning Commission, Government of India. India's Green Revolution is a dramatic example of how the input of greater knowledge in the form of improved production technologies can rapidly increase the productivity of scarce land resources. What was Green Revolution? If you remember, it was in 1960, and it was actually the development of high yielding seeds by the scientists, and that actually increased the production of crops. Now, India's IT revolution is a striking instance of how the importance of human capital has come to acquire a higher position than that of material plant and machinery. So here you can see two examples. One is physical capital formation and other one is human capital formation. So here actually it is told in this extract, it has been said that you can see more production, improved production with the physical capital formation. Like they have developed the high yielding seed, and with that there was green revolution and more of the production. The same way, if you go through India's IT revolution, that is actually the human capital formation. And with that also there was more productivity. Okay, here we have a conversation. What is human resource? Is it like land or labor? It is more than that. What is human capital? It is like rupee, paise or dollar. It is more than that. Now what is that? So here you can see the human capital. You can see doctors, teachers, other occupations, and this is actually the human capital. So looking at the photograph, can you explain how a doctor, teacher, engineer and a tailor are an asset to the economy? So you need to do this activity as homework. Not only do the more educated and healthier people gain through higher incomes, in fact, the society also gains in other indirect ways, because the advantages of a more educated or a healthier population is spread to those also who themselves were not directly educated or given health care. So these educating people, making people healthier, will not only benefit them, it will benefit other people also. Actually, if you see, if you will look into the advantages, you will find that human capital is superior to other resources like land and physical capital. It is superior to them. Human resources can make use of land and capital, but this land and capital cannot become useful on its own. Can land work themselves? No. They cannot be productive themselves. Land and capital cannot be productive themselves. But human resources can make them productive. So you can see human resource is actually superior to land and capital. So for decades, this large population, this huge population was considered in India as a liability rather than an asset. But actually, if you see, this large population is not a burden for the economy. It can be actually turned into productive asset by investment, by spending resources on education and health. If there is training for industrial and agricultural workers, how to use modern technologies. Also, there can be useful scientific researches. So by doing all these trainings, by improving, by transforming the human resource, we can actually make this huge population an asset rather than a burden. Here we have story of Sakal. So there were two friends, Vilas and Sakal. They were living in the same village, Semapur. Sakal was 12 years old boy and his mother Sheila used to look after domestic chores, and his father Bhuta Chaudhary, he used to work as an agricultural uh, in an agricultural field. Sakal used to help his mother with her work, and he also looked after his younger brother Jitu and sister Situ. His uncle Shyam had passed the matriculation examination, that means 10th examination, but was sitting idle in the house because he was not having any job. Now Bhuta and Sheila, they were eager to teach Shakal. They wanted to teach Shakal, and they forced him to join the village school, and he joined it. He started studying and completed his higher secondary examination. His father persuaded him to continue his studies, and also he raised a loan for Sakal to study a vocational course in computers. Now Sakal was meritorious and interested in studies from the beginning, and he completed his course. After some time, he got a job in private firm, He even designed a new kind of software, and this software helped him increase the sale of firm. And his boss acknowledged his service and rewarded him with a promotion. Now Vilas was also there in that same village, and he was 11-year-old boy who was actually residing in the village in which this Shakal was living. Vilas' father Mahesh was a fisherman, and his father passed away when he was only 2 years old. So his mother Geeta used to sell fish to earn money. She bought fish from the landowner's pond and sold it in the nearby mandi, and she could only earn 150 rupees per day by selling the fish. Now Vilas became a patient of arthritis, and his mother could not afford to take him to the doctor. He also could not go to school, and he was also not interested in the studies. He helped his mother in cooking and also looked after his younger brother Mohan. After some time, his mother fell sick, and there was no one to look after them, and there was no one in the family to support them. Now Vilas was forced to sell fish in the same village. And like his mother, he earned only a meager income. So you can see how Shakal was transformed, and Vilas didn't get chance to enhance himself. So in these two cases, Shakal went to school and Vilas did not go to school. Shakal was physically strong and healthy, and there was no need to him for go to visit doctor frequently. Vilas was patient of arthritis. Also, he lacked the means to visit the doctor. Shakal acquired a degree in computer programming, and he found a job in private firm. And Vilas continued with the same work which his mother was doing. Now he was getting a meager income like his mother, and in case of Shakal, several years of education added quality of labor to him, and this enhancement was actually the reason of the total productivity. He enhanced himself, and he was more productive. He was able to earn more money. And total productivity adds to the growth of the economy. If he is growing, the economy with the people, the economy of country will also grow. So here we have a question for you. Do you notice any difference between the two friends? What are those? You need to do this question. Now, this transformation of the human resource actually will benefit the human through salary or through or in some other form, whatever their choice is. So if you see in the case of Vilas, there could not be any education or healthcare in the early part of his life. So he spends his life selling fish like his mother, and he draws the same salary of unskilled labor like his mother. But investment in human resource through education and medical care can give the high rates of return in future, like in case of Sakal. Now, educated parents are found to invest more heavily on the education of their child. Why? Because they have realized the importance of education for themselves. They are conscious of proper nutrition and hygiene, and they, according to that, they look after their children's need for education at school or good health. And as you see, the educated people are educating their children the same way. A cycle is going on for the disadvantaged people, disadvantaged parents. They are disadvantaged, and that is why their children are also disadvantaged. Now, if you see the countries like Japan, they have invested in human resources. They did not have any natural resource. So what they do, they import the natural resource, whatever they need in their company. Now, how did they become rich or developed? They don't have any natural resource. So how they became rich and developed? They actually invested on the people. They invested in education and health. And then these human resource, these people made efficient use of their of other resources like land and capital. So whatever efficiency and technology evolved by the people, that made these countries rich and developed. So actually they are rich because of their human resource, not because of the natural resource or land or capital. They invested on the human capital and they became rich and developed. So if you see, large population is an asset if it is handled properly, if it is transformed properly, rather than a burden. It will become burden when it is when a good care is not given, when there is no transformation, then it will become a burden. I hope you all understood all the topics taught in this video. Thank you.